Okay, you guys, so this is our second to last session today, and we're going to start seated. And you're going to want your chair, and you're also going to want 2 blankets if you have them, maybe even 3, but one of those could be a pillow if you're doing this on the recording. Okay, so it doesn't have to be 2 yoga blankets. All right, let's start. All right. So just sit however you want to. You don't have to have your legs crossed, right? You can sit with your legs in any position, right? So the more that you practice getting down and up from the floor and actually just sitting on the floor more regularly, that's a really good practice for your whole body mobility. Just sit on the floor every once in a while at home, okay? Um, so just as you get comfortable, you can use any props you want for your knees, or like I said, any leg position, and orient to your space that you're in. Notice the sounds, notice the light, the color, the textures that you see. No, I just hear barrels being dragged or something. Yeah. Yeah. And then bringing your attention a little bit closer to your body. So you can have your eyes open or closed, whatever works better for you. And noticing the contact points you're making with the floor or your props. And is there any part of you that could release a little bit further to gravity, where you feel like you might be holding something up in your shoulders or your neck or your jaw or your arms? And it might feel good for some of you to put your back against a wall for extra support. So you can always do that. Or if you're at home, you can do that with your couch or a piece of furniture, right? And that can give support so you don't, if you're feeling really rounded, this puts a lot of pressure on your back to be rounded like this, right? So the back support can help. And then tuning in, we've been working with the koshas, right? The different layers of the self. And we worked with the physical body. So noticing, just getting a general sense for how you feel right now. And we've worked with the vitality body, right? So your breath, noticing it come in and go out, the pranamaya kosha. And also what your energy level is like today. And then last week we talked about accessing body wisdom. So that Vijnamaya kosha, it's like a deeper kind of intuition, but also listening to your body. And this week our focus is on the Manomaya kosha, which is the mental and emotional body. Of course, these are all related and you work on them at once in a yoga practice. It's not like we separate them out, but it can be interesting to just check in with that area. How are you feeling mentally today? What are your thoughts like today? Are there any emotions present? And so as we practice, let's try to notice what are patterns of thoughts, our belief patterns, our thought patterns that kind of pop up throughout your yoga practice. It's just another level of developing self-awareness through yoga. Without any judgment, right? So you're welcoming in, you're not pushing anything away, it's simply noticing. And then you might begin to breathe a little bit wider on your inhale, trying for a 3-dimensional breath. And the more you get your shoulders over your hips, the easier it will be, or it's more of your rib cage over your pelvis. That makes it easier to get a full breath in. And then a long exhale. And again, and you can breathe out through your mouth if you'd like. And then imagine you're being pulled up by the top of your head, the little string or like a helium balloon, so that your head lines up a little bit more with the ears and the shoulders aligned. Good. 2 more breaths there. And then let's just start to spiral. Again, your legs can be any position, so you could switch it if you want to. Or it's more like circling the torso around and around. And these can be big or these can be small. Notice how it feels, especially if about your low back and your hips. How does it feel as you do these movements here? And then can you reverse the direction? Good, and then let's start to make those circles smaller and smaller. So it's like you're spiraling into the center line, the midline of your body. And then get really tall again. Good, inhale and exhale. Now, if it feels okay on your shoulders, you could reach the arms up. So let's inhale, arms can stay down or come up. And as you exhale, I'm going to mirror you. Let's lean to your right, just placing the right hand down. Let the right shoulder relax as you stretch over. And then inhale back up to center and exhale to the left. Good. Let that bottom shoulder come away from your ear. That's it. And keep going, your own pace. Okay. Just side to side. Now, not using arms, it would just look like this, right? You would just be leaning side to side. And as you do this, notice where you get a stretch when you're side bending. Where do you feel it? And be gentle with it. Go as far or not as far as you want. Good. All right, then let's come to the center. And if your legs are bent in any way, let's take them out in front of you and just straighten them out for a moment. And then shake out the legs. Good. Notice how they're feeling. And then let's bend the knees with the feet kind of wide. So you can have them as wide or as narrow as you like, and your hands propped up behind you. If you need to be on your forearms instead of your hands, you can do that, or your fists. And we're going to gently start to let the knees go side to side in windshield wipers. If you want to come off your blankets, if that feels better, you can do that. So it's the same thing when we do this on our backs. And if it feels better for you to lie down and do this on your back, you can do it that way too. And if your shoulders don't want to be propped up behind you. Now, if you feel like you want to go a little bit deeper, right? Like getting the knees toward the floor, if you take your feet wider, they might be able to go deeper side to side. And then noticing where you're feeling this through your hips or your knees, your ankles, your low back. Keep breathing. Good. And then let's come back up to the center and we'll sit with the legs straight out in front again. So we're going to work a little bit, and we've done this before, not in this series, but we're going to work a little bit with the Sanskrit names for poses, okay? And that just works with the mental mind too. So it's like getting the cognitive stuff engaged can be fun and part of the process. So this pose right here with your legs out in front and your arms propping up if they can, you can use your hands down or behind, is called Dandasana. And you can say it if you want to, Dandasana. And this is staff pose. That's what that means. Dandasana, staff pose. Okay. Good. Inhale here. And now exhale. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. And you can either have your hands behind you or they could hold the ankles, right? And you can always use a blanket for these too, okay? This one is called Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana, and it means bound angle pose. Okay, bound angle pose. And we often call it in English, we'll just call it cobbler's pose, because I think it's because in India, cobblers might have worked with a shoe between their feet here. Okay, so that's the idea. I often call it butterfly pose though, just from like PE class or something, right? So it's like the wings, but Baddha Konasana. Okay, notice how this one feels for you. Okay, inhale, exhale. Now, here we go. We're going to bring the knees in. You can lean back, right? You might want to be on your blanket for some of these. There's going to be one that'll be hard to be on your blanket. And now we're taking a wide V. Okay, this one is called Upavista Konasana. So again, we get the wide angle, right? Konasana, but Upavista means upright, because you also do this one. You can do it on your back with your legs flipped over your head, and that would not be upright. Okay, so this is Upavista Konasana. Upavista Konasana. And my pronunciation isn't going to be exact on these at all. I haven't actually taken a Sanskrit pronunciation class. I would like to do that. So I often just look it up on Google and they tell me how to pronounce them, so I'm not totally butchering it, right? But Upavista Konasana. Okay, now let's go back to Dandasana. Dandasana. This one, staff pose. Okay, good. Now, if you wanted to lean forward, you might not be able to because it might be too much. You might be getting enough here, but this would be Pajimo Tanasana. Pashimo Tanasana. And this one is Eastern facing stretch or pose. Eastern facing, Western facing, because the idea is they would practice yoga and sun salutations in the morning facing the east, the sun, right? So now I'm stretching this back side of my body, which would be west facing. Okay, so that's Pajimo Tanasana. Let's come back up. Dandasana. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Baddha Konasana. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Upavista Konasana. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Baddha Konasana. Good. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to try Navasana. So this is the one you'll want to be off the blanket. Navasana. Now it's boat pose. Okay. So the knees come up. You can put your hands behind you for support, or they could hold behind your knees. And we try to lift the feet up. Now, if your back is bothering you and lifting your feet seems like a bad idea, you could do one leg like this, or one at a time, right? You could do both like this and hold, or have hands, or you could do no hands, okay? Inhaling, exhaling, maybe. Inhale, exhale, let's put the feet down. Baddha Konasana. Good, Baddha Konasana. Inhale, exhale, Dandasana. Or you can do Pajimottanasana if you want, okay? Let's stay there for an extra breath. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, let's come up if you're folded and go Upavista Konasana. Upavista Konasana. Good. There will not be a quiz, so don't worry. Inhale. We're going to do a new one. Exhale, Sukhasana. Sukhasana means easy pose. Easy pose. It might not be easy. It's usually easy for little children, but it might not be easy for Westerners that are adults. Okay, so noticing how it feels. It might feel easy. Good. Inhale. Exhale, Navasana, boat pose. Navasana. Okay, so any variation that I showed you, right? Any amount of support, 1 or 2 legs. If you did the other leg last time, do the other leg this time. Good. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Inhale. Baddha Konasana. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Upavista Konasana. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Sukhasana. See if you can do the opposite leg. You might not remember, but it will probably be the one that feels more awkward, like you wouldn't go there naturally. Put the other one in front. Good. And feel how that is. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last time, exhale, Navasana. Boat pose. So remember, you can do any variation. Put hands down, do one leg, right? That'll still strengthen your hip flexors. Or the other leg, or both. Good. Inhale. Exhale, Upavista Konasana. Good. Inhale. You can always lean forward in this one too. That's an option, right? Exhale. Inhale again. And exhale, let's just bring the legs in. You can always use your hands for that. And take the feet to one side like we practiced last week, and then just come up onto your hands and knees. Of course, you could have your elbows, your forearms on your blocks instead if you want to. Okay, inhale, let's go through cat and cow pose. Tail up, chest forward. Exhale, round. This is Chakrasana. Oh gosh, I'm butchering that one. Chakrasana. I'll have to get back to you. Good. Noticing how your spine feels in both of these positions. Right? And as you repeat them, does it start to feel differently? And now that we were doing all that kind of focused thinking, right? How does it feel in your mind? How's your focus right now? Okay, now the next time that you pass through a neutral spine, so just like a neutral tabletop here, we're just going to look over to the right behind you. So let your hips move, let anything move, and just notice what your body wants to do to look behind you to the right. And then inhale back to center, and exhale, look behind you to the left, moving however you need to. Inhale, center, and again. Good. Now let's come back to the center and come down onto our forearms on the floor. And let's see, you can let your neck relax. You might need to see me for a moment, but I'll explain it. So we're just going to turn the palms toward the ceiling as much as you can, and then back down. Okay, just up, seeing how much you can get your thumbs toward the floor, and then back down. Now, if this bothers your shoulders, you guys with shoulder injuries, of course, you could just do this like this. You could do this without any weight on your shoulders, just seated upright. Or if you're doing it with a recording, you could even do it at a table, like seated at a table, turning the palms up and down. Okay, let your neck soften. Good. Good. Okay, now let's rise up onto our knees. You don't have to be on your knees. If your knees hurt, you could sit. You're just going to come upright. Okay, and we're going to inhale and turn the palms forward and the fingers toward the ceiling as much as you can. So trying to get wrist extension. Good. And exhale, make a fist and bring the wrist down. So you guys, if your knees hurt, you don't need to be on your knees. You can do this seated, right? So you can just be here, okay? Or however you want your legs. And try to relax through your shoulders. We're inhaling, trying to get some wrist extension. Good, and exhaling wrist flexion and a little bit of a grip. Good, inhale and exhale. Good, one more. And exhale. So that was an active wrist stretch, right? Now we're going to come onto our hands and knees again, if that's okay with your body. And you're going to notice this is a little more passive because it's force. It's kind of like you've got the weight of your body to stretch it. So you can see in wrist extension what amount feels okay. If you've got a wrist injury, you may be way back here without any weight, right, at all on them, just trying to spread the hands. Or you might be able to bear weight and kind of stretch into it a little bit, right? So see what works for your body. You can sway around if you want to. Good. Now, some of you, and you might need to take your weight back, you guys, if you're injured, okay? But if not, you can keep shoulders over wrists. We're going to try to take the right arm up and open to the side and look to the right, either the right wall or the ceiling. Don't force it if your shoulders are injured, and then come back down. And then inhale, opening up to the left, any amount. And exhale down. Let's try it each time again. Just noticing and really taking care of yourself, right? And down. The palm, if you were going up, the palm would be facing away from you. No, yeah. No, you had it right, Linda. You guys, it's just faced the other way. Some people are facing it like this way or doing something funky. Just the opposite way, like where your eyes are looking. Yeah, that's it. Good. All right, you guys. Then coming down, let's come all the way down onto our bellies. And we'll see how this feels on your low back. Okay, some of you might feel totally fine coming into Sphinx pose. Sphinx pose is up on your elbows like this. Okay, your elbows are not back like this, they're forward. Yeah, so they're below your shoulders or ahead. Now, if this bothers your low back, sometimes people with spinal stenosis, this kind of bending bothers their back. So you might not be able to do that without pain, or you might need to go lower. Okay, so you can test it out in your own body and see what works. For bulging discs, this can often be very helpful. Okay. Good. So moving shoulder blades away from ears and just let your neck be at ease. Inhale. And as you exhale, see if it feels okay to come forward just a little bit with the left arm and let your hips rotate to look around to the right. Good. And then inhale back to center, lining up the arms again. And then exhale, the right arm could come forward a little bit as you twist around to look to the left. And then inhale back to center and exhale. Let's lower down. You can prop your head however it feels best. I'm putting my forehead on stacked hands, but you could turn your head to the side or have your arms, however it works for you. And as you're here, can you try to feel that 3-dimensional breath? As you inhale, just noticing if you can sense that breath in different parts of your torso. Good. And then let's try to come back to Sphinx pose, any variation. Now, those of you that feel okay in Sphinx pose may feel okay in Cobra pose too. So we're going to see. Okay, so you can press your pubic bone down so your butt muscles are engaged. And you can see if it would feel okay to maybe even lift the elbows, but shoulders away from ears as you do that. Might need to bend them a little bit. Good. And you can either come up and down from that. I would keep your glutes engaged as you do it, just to notice the difference. If you don't keep your glutes engaged, you're just going to get a little more compression in the low back. So you can kind of test that out. Good. And then let's lower back down. And again, prop your head however it works best for you. Noticing your breath against the floor. Now we're going to practice strengthening the legs and the glutes. Okay, we're going to try to keep the low back fully out of this so we learn to use these other muscles. The first thing is tighten your right leg muscles and glutes, or just the whole leg. So your knee will probably come off the floor as you do that, and then relax it. And then tighten your left leg muscles and relax. And now press your pubic bone down so you tighten your butt muscles and release. So we're just trying to get our brain connected to all these places. And then let's try the right leg again and relax. Left leg and relax. Good, both legs and your glutes. So, and your pubic bone pressing down and relax. Okay, now we're going to work just with the right leg. Tighten your right leg, press the pubic bone down, and then inhale. Can you lift that leg a little bit without using the low back? So just going up a tiny bit, and then exhale back down and rest. And then inhale, tighten the right leg. Exhale, lift and lower. Good. You just can breathe whenever you want here, okay? So we're tightening the right leg, engaging the glutes, lifting it a little bit and lowering. Now, your leg is staying straight, okay? So you're not trying to lift it high. You're just trying, it's almost like you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your foot. And if you can't lift it without going into your low back, then don't lift it. Just keep it down. Okay, try to point the ankle, point the toe as you lift. If you're getting foot cramps, you can put your blanket below your ankles. Okay, good. And now rest. Just kind of shake it out. And now let's try the left leg. So tighten the left leg, point the toe as you lift, tighten the glutes, lift and lower. And repeat. So your hip is staying down. It's just the leg, and it might not even come off the floor. So same leg, left leg over and over again, not using your low back. So you just want to just use your leg. And so you might even, especially you guys with the low back issues, like just practice tightening and releasing the leg. Don't even try lifting it, John, because I can see you going into your low back. Can you feel that? It's going, yeah. So yes, that's it. Don't even, a lot of times if you've got chronic low back stuff, you're just going to go into your low back. You know, it just all be automatic. So we're trying to train those muscles to relax and just use the legs. Okay, then rest it. Now, some of you are going to alternate sides, little lift or tightening, or some of you might try to lift both legs up. And you can either hold them up and breathe, or you can come up and down a few times. Okay. Really working the legs, pressing the pubic bone down, feeling the whole leg engaging, trying to get that leg straight. Good. Keep breathing and then rest. Good. Now you can bend your knees, taking the feet toward the ceiling, and gently, it's like an upside down windshield wipers. The lower legs go side to side, any amount. You can let the hips move. They don't have to stay down anymore. Keep breathing. And now, some of you are going to stay with this, but you could try this. We're going to put our hands like you would do a push-up, but keep the legs like they are. You have to tuck your chin so you don't smash your nose. And you can see, can your legs come down toward the right? And would you be able to press into your hands to sit up? And for some of you, this won't be a good idea. Okay. And then you come back down. Lower back down. Okay. Now, if this is bothering your shoulder, you don't come up. You're just going to stick with these. Okay. So, you guys with the shoulder injuries, pushing up might be too much. So you're just going to work here, or you can work even with Sphinx or any of the other poses. Okay. But if your shoulders are healthy and your hips and knees are healthy to do this, you can take your knees down to the left now, or your feet. And then you can try to keep going and push up, look around, and then lower back down. Okay, so your choice. Stick with what is right for your body, right? Really listening to your body. Noticing the different thoughts and beliefs that show up in your practice, right? For example, you might be saying to yourself, this is easy. I look awesome doing this, right? Or you might be saying, this is awful. I can't do that. I'm never going to be able to do that, right? So just kind of thinking about noticing your own tendencies and the way you talk to yourself. Okay. Now, if you're one of the people pushing up, you can stay up, okay? And if you're down on the floor, let's do this. Let's come onto our forearms to come up, and then bring a knee forward, and then the other knee, and start to come up onto your hands. Now, of course, you can always use your chair to come up, but you can also try the bear get up if you'd like, coming onto your toes, walking the hands back. And then as you inhale, reaching arms up. Good. And exhale, arms out and down. Good. And we'll do that 2 more times, inhaling up and exhale. And then just standing for a moment, you can shake out your arms. Notice how your feet feel on the floor. Just kind of kneading your toes into the floor a little bit, a few times. Good. And you can hold the back of your chair for this, either beside you or in front of you. We're just going to inhale, lift up, stretching the toes, coming up onto the feet, and exhale back down and try to lift the toes while pressing the balls of the feet down. So you inhale, try to lift up on the toes. You could be like this too, with 2 points of contact on the chair, and down, lifting toes up. So you're trying to lift, instead of rocking on the heel, we're doing this a little differently. I'm just trying to get that active toe extension with the toes lifting up, and then a more passive, using my body weight, lifting up. Okay, a couple more. Good. And then let's hold the chair and pick up one foot and roll the ankle. Keep breathing. Good. And then rolling it in the opposite direction. And then let's set that foot down and notice the 2 sides. And now the other foot. So here we're just going to systematically move from foot to head, getting a lot of the joints, right? So it's a process you can do anytime on your own. Good. And then setting that foot down, noticing both sides. Breathe in and out. Good. Now, you can try to bring either the feet to touch or just bring them close. They don't have to touch, okay? And we're going to start to circle the knees around. And again, so you might be bending them only a tiny bit if your knees are painful, or you might get all down and groovy with it, get low with it if you want. Notice how you're moving around on your feet as you do this. So it's a little bit of a foot exercise and a balance exercise as well. Go the opposite direction. Good. And now coming to the center and stepping the feet wide. And we'll do some of our hula hoops, right? So now you're going hips to one side, hips to the back, hips to the other side, hips front. And you can let the knees be bent. They're not trying to stay straight or anything. You're moving those hips around. Your upper body can do whatever feels best. Okay. And then reversing that. Go in the opposite direction. And we already did some cats and cows, moving the spine, right? And all that stuff on our belly. Right, so we're going to move it a little bit in a different way with some twisting now. So we'll take the feet a little bit wide. Just make sure you're not going to hit your chair. You're going to swing and twist. So that's rotating the spine. We've done cat and cow, so we've done spinal extension and flexion. And then we also have done side bending when we first started. Now we're twisting the spine, right? So all of these movements would be a good, I shouldn't say should, don't should on yourself, right? But it would be good to do these movements every day, to do a little bit of joint mobilization, all of your joints, or as many as you can, and definitely all these spinal movements. Okay. And coming back to the center now, let's just step the feet to a comfortable distance. We worked already with the wrists, but let's rotate them. So let's bring the palms together, interlace the fingers. We'll just keep the elbows down. And I'm drawing like an infinity sign or a figure 8 on its side. And you can look at your wrists. That'll help with the mobility. Keep breathing. And now let's try to reverse that direction. Good. All right, now we've done a little bit with the fingers too, right, already, but let's just articulate the fingers as though you were playing the piano in a weird way, just kind of up and down the piano keys. You can go back and forth. Good. And we'll do more with them in a little bit. Now let's inhale, open the palms and the arms in front and straighten the elbows if you can. So wherever that is for you, and exhale, just close the elbows. And that's all it is. It's like a bicep curl without any weight attached to it, okay? So we're just going up and down, extending and flexing the elbows. And I do recommend using weights. It's very important to do strength training, especially as we get older, right? Especially. So doing it within reason, getting any advisement you need, not just jumping in, but yoga does some weight bearing, right? And sometimes all we need is a little weight bearing to start, but later you might need weights. Okay, now let's try out to the sides, elbows out, same thing. Open and close. Open and close. And how does this feel different? You might get a little bit of a nerve stretch when you do this. I certainly do. I can feel it through my forearms and elbow. That's a little bit of a nerve glide. Good. And then just bring the arms down. Let's shoulder roll. So let's move these shoulder joints. We'll inhale up, exhale down the back. You just breathe however you want to breathe. Now let's try going back first and then forward and down. Good. All right. Now can we do just one? Doesn't matter which one. Like we'll do more dance moves here. Okay. And now let's try the other one. Okay. Now let's try forward one side. Notice if you're holding your breath. Forward the other side. Good, and then just rest. Let's get into the neck a little bit. Inhale, stand really tall, and exhale. Just turn your head gently to one side, doesn't matter which, okay? And back to center. And exhale, gently turn to the other side. So you're noticing your own range of motion here, how your neck feels. You're not forcing anything. Good. Now, when you come back to center, let's do a gentle lean with just the neck and back. Go carefully here and notice. Good. And then back to center. And now we're going to spiral as though you're drawing a circle, as though you had a pen on the end of your nose. And you're starting small. And each time you circle around, it might get a little bigger depending on your range of motion. Keep breathing. Only go as wide as, of course, feels okay on your neck. And then let's start reversing. Now each circle gets smaller. And you might feel all that, you might hear a bunch of crackling, the crepitus, that is, that's a lot of that is just normal aging of the joints there. It gets a little noisy. Good. All right. And then coming to center whenever you're done, and imagining you're holding something on the top of your head. So your neck is really long. Good. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to move to the wall. I know I didn't mention that ahead of time, but any wall space will work. And if you don't have one, you'll be able to make the mirrors work. So you guys can step against a mirror too. And all I'm going to do, I think it'll be better if I do it just in the center of the room. You can imagine I'm against the wall. Your back is against the wall. Sorry, I didn't clarify. So your back is against the wall. And your butt might be the thing that touches the wall the most. It just depends on your sizing, okay? And from here, first, you can take your chin and try to tuck it down like you're trying to make a double chin. Yeah, but not by looking down, by like this. So straight back, trying to get a double chin. Okay, not by turning your head down. Okay, and then just relax it for a moment. Might be hard to do. So when we have, and most people do have a bit of a forward head, right? Just in general, as we get older, myself included, right? We get this forward head from doing everything forward. And a lot of that has to do with upper back, but it also has to do with these deep neck flexors. They get weak too, okay? So we're strengthening them. So you're gonna make a double chin, okay? But try to have your eyes to the horizon and still breathe. And then imagine you're being pulled up by the top of your head while keeping the double chin. So you've got like a helium balloon or a rope attached to the top of your head. You're making the double chin. Some of you might be able to press the back of your head into the wall, but if you have a lot of a forward head, that won't work. Okay, it won't happen yet. And then relax it. Okay, were you guys breathing as you did it? Okay, good. Okay, so this is something you can practice. Another place to practice this is in the car with your headrest behind you, and you can do the same thing. Okay, let's try it one more time. Double chin, and then feel like you're being pulled up by the very top of your head. The back of your head may or may not touch the wall. Okay, breathe, strengthening these deep neck flexors, and then release. And just step away from the wall, kind of shake things out a bit, right? You might want to do a swing and twist, or you might just want to stand, whatever feels good. Yeah, you might need your balance support for this next one, okay? So you can use the wall at your side, or you can use your chair. Okay, you could also do this seated if it doesn't work for you standing. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Inhale. Exhale, can you lift your right knee up? Good. Inhale. Exhale, straightening your right leg. You might have to lower it in order to straighten it. Good. Inhale, bend. Exhale, step. Okay. Inhale, stand. Exhale, left knee lifts. Good. Inhale. Exhale, straighten. You might need to lower it. Inhale, bend. Exhale, down. Okay, keep going. Inhale. Exhale, right knee. Inhale, straighten. I've changed the breath. That's okay. Exhale, bend and down. Good. Inhale. We're going a little faster. Exhale, left. Inhale, straight. Exhale, bend and down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend and down. Keep going. I'm going to show how to do it in a chair. Just keep going. You can do it with your own timing. It doesn't matter how you breathe. Okay. So in the chair, it would just be the same thing, right? So if it's bothering you or your balance isn't working or you're just more tired, you could always do it this way. So we're strengthening the hip flexors here as well as the thighs. So the thighs straighten the leg. The hip flexors lift the hip up. When they go past 90, that is, yeah. Good. One more, doesn't matter which side. Good. Let it come down. You can hula hoop here. You can swing and twist. You can bounce. Okay, whichever your body likes to do in between things, feel free. Okay. Did we do standing one foot on the chair last week in here? Yeah. Yeah. But it might have been, you might have been with a different group. Yeah, it may have been Monday. Yeah, I don't think I did it. You guys don't recall? Okay, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so for this, many of you will need the wall nearby. Okay, I shouldn't say many, a few of you will need the wall nearby because what we're gonna do is we're gonna be standing like this, which requires a lot of balance. So if you're like, no, I want the wall, let's be safe, and just take yourself to a wall, okay? So you've got it at your side as you do it, okay? So you choose. Remember, it's always like the right amount of challenge for you. The seat is facing you. The seat is facing you. If you're at the wall, you're going to put your inside leg up, okay? It might be different. The rest of us, let's do our right leg, okay? So we'll inhale, stand tall. Exhale, can you lift the right leg or the inside leg up? And then float it. You might not be able to float it, okay? But if you can, if you already went down, maybe you could lift it up from it. Maybe not. Okay, just keep breathing. It takes so much hip flexor strength to do it. So it's something you can work on. All right, okay, and then put it down. Now inhale, stand tall. And exhale, you're gonna turn toward the leg, bringing your opposite arm across. And then your back hand can come to your hip and you twist. Okay, good. You can always use the wall. Turn toward the wall, Joan. Yeah. So your left hand will come to your right knee and your right. Yes, that's it. Good. Inhale up tall. Exhale, relax your jaw. Good. I know you guys are untwisting, but I'm going to stay here. Inhale up tall. Exhale. Now we'll untwist. Okay. Let's inhale. Some of you might be able to do arms up. Okay. And exhale, we can try to float the leg, maybe, and bring it down. Good. Bring the arms down. Let's do the other side. You guys using the wall, let's turn around. So face your chair the other way. So now you'll get the other leg. Okay, so inhale, stand tall. Exhale, if you're using the wall, bring your inside leg up. If you're out on the floor, we'll use the left. Just do the one you haven't done, okay? And then try to float it a couple of times. Keep breathing. You can either float and hold or you can go up and down. You might find one leg's easier than the other. Okay. And then we'll inhale, bring your opposite arm across to the knee. And then your back hand can come to the hip and just get up really tall if you can. Remember that string attached to the top of your head. Can you try to feel that here too? Good, and breathe. Let's do one more breath here. And then exhale, untwist. Okay, if you want to, you can do arms up, inhale. And then exhale, maybe float the leg or bring it straight down. Good, and down. Good, I'm gonna give you two options here. I want you to just choose what you think is best for your body today. One of them is a chair down dog, which I think you guys all know, right? We reach our arms up, we fold, we stretch, okay? The other one is a chair forward fold. So this might be better if you have shoulder stuff going on, where you lean forward onto your elbows or come down toward the floor. Or you just might like it for a stretch for your low back. Okay, so you choose whichever one you want to do today. Okay, pick your own. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can get into position, take your breath into account, and as you exhale, come into your pose. Okay, so if you're seated, it can be on elbows or it can be down. If you're in the down dog variation, your knees can be bent or straight. And your weight is in your feet, not your arms. So if you need to arrange where your feet are for down dog, you can walk them forward or back. Good. Trying to let your neck relax in whatever position you've chosen. And one more breath here. And then slowly coming back up. If you're in downward dog, you can just be in standing for right now. And if you're on the chair like I am, we're going to inhale, sit tall. We're going to exhale, lean forward and stand. Good. Good. And we'll come into a position where our chair is at the front of our mat, seat facing us. Okay, and we're going to get our blankets. So I'm going to have one of your blankets, let's fold them the same way. Okay, so let's have everybody open up one of their blankets like this. And if you're at home, you'll just make do with what you have, okay? So I've got the tassels on the bottom and I've got a fold on the top and it's a big, large rectangle. Yes. Okay, and then I'm going to take it. So John, open it one more time. Yeah, and then hold it by this section right there. Yes, you got it this way. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to take this and we're going to make a hot dog. So we're going to fold it that way, hot dog bun. Okay. Now this one is just going to go off to the side so we can use it in a moment. Okay. Now, some people at home might just use a pillow for the second one. We are in here. We're going to take another blanket and do the same fold, the exact same fold. Okay. So open it up. Boom. Okay. Fold at the top, tassels at the bottom. Hot dog. All right. And you can just stack it for now on top of the other one. All right. And there we go. So now we'll come down to the floor. If you need blankets to land on, you could put your padding right for your knees. Okay. I'm going to inhale, stretch our arms up. Exhale, fold toward the chair. And then we're going to step one knee down. So this is where that knee padding might come in handy. Good. Now some of you guys, this is a challenge getting up and down, right? So you guys are going to continue to do it like this with the chair there and using support. Some of you, this is not a challenge. So those of you that it's not a challenge for, I want you to try to do it without the chair. Okay. So it's up to you. All right. So some of you are going to come back up using the chair and your legs are strong for everybody. And some of you are going to do it without the chair. Okay. Good. Inhale. We're going to try the other leg. Okay, so if you need the padding, bring it. Inhale. Exhale, either folding forward, holding the chair, or stepping the leg back, dropping the knee. Okay, good. Inhale. Same thing, chair or no chair. Exhale. Lean forward into the front heel, press into the front heel, and rise. Let's try both sides again. Inhale. Exhale, either hinge to the chair or step the first leg back, slowly lower. Good. Inhale. Exhale, either hinge toward the chair or just take the weight to the front heel and come up. Good. Last one, we're staying down this time. Inhale. Exhale, left leg goes back, either hinge to the chair or lower and down. Good, now you can bring your other knee back. Maybe, okay. And one of these blankets is going to be supporting our head and neck. So most people will want to fold it over. The other blanket is going to be across the upper back area. So if you can see what I've got, and I'm gonna be using this chair too. So what I've got is, this one's my head, this one is my upper back. So what I'm gonna do, and for me, what I already know I want is I want this one, the hot dog one. I want to make another hot dog. I want it to be higher for me. It's just not enough of an opening. Okay, and I'm just going to either straighten my legs underneath the chair or keep them bent. We're going to use that chair in a moment, and I'll come around and help you guys in here. My arms, because my shoulders feel fine, are spread out to the sides above that blanket. But for many people, their arms will be folded inward. Okay. So if you don't feel like you're getting enough of a chest opener, what you can do is take that chest blanket and fold it over a second time. And Chris, move it way up to your upper back. Yeah. That's it. And Lisa, move yours down a little bit. Right there. And then, yeah, good. You can always put a little more below your neck if you want to. Yeah. There we go. Just put it wherever. How's that? Okay? Okay, good. Good. If you have any questions, let me know. Yeah. Let's see how it would feel for you to open up your arms. Is that okay? And yours, let's see, Linda, can I move this down a little bit? Let's see, lift up a little higher, right there. And then your arms could be just below Chris, even right here. Is that okay? Okay, good. Just following your breath in and following your breath out. You're feeling, the feeling I'm going for here. You don't have to go for the same feeling as me, but the suggestion is that you're feeling your chest lifted and opening relative to your shoulders. And if you're having, if you want it different and you can't figure out how to get it there, just give me a wave and I'll come help you. What's that? Yours looks good. Are you feeling okay in your position? You're fine. On your inhale, can you feel your breath opening up the rib cage? And on your exhale, softening somewhere. And if you have any back pain, it may feel better to have the knees bent, but you can test that out for yourself. But so just noticing everything that's going on in your mind. And now, if your knees are straight, let's bend the knees and slowly bring your arms in so that you can roll over to your side. And we're just going to set up in a different position here. So now we're going to keep our head blanket, but our long hot dog blanket one that we had this way, and I had mine double rolled. I'm now going to take vertical on my mat, parallel to the long edges. I'm going to bring my chair in closer. So I'm going to have this is long enough for my whole torso. So I'm going to put my torso on it and lie back with my head with that second blanket and my legs over the chair, my feet going through that little hole I've made. And my arms can be in any position that feels good. And I'll come around you guys and help you get your chairs if you need it. Is yours wide enough? Because you've got the double hot dog roll on it. I think one time it might feel better like this. Yeah, let's try that. Just one more padding. Here, bring this in. And of course, you don't have to have your legs over the chair. I find that this often helps the low back release, but if that's not true for you, please do whatever feels best. Tom, I'm going to try to bring this in a little close so you can stick your feet right through there. There you go. Is that okay? Okay. Here we go, John. All right. And then taking a sigh or two here. Yeah, just kind of trying to let go of any tension if you can. And I know we're going a few minutes over here. Softening through the legs. And if at any time you need to change positions, feel free to just come out and do that. You don't have to stay where you are. Feel for letting go of as much effort as you can. Now noticing what your mind is focused on, if anything. And we spend so much of our time in our heads, most of us anyway. And so just for a moment, could you try to release the stuff going on in your head into the background and bring yourself into your body again, your awareness, I mean, and feel for letting go a little bit, not pushing anything away, just dropping in and letting go. And if there's a thought or maybe a belief or just a way of thinking that you feel is not serving you right now in your life, it might be something that you know right away, or it might just be inviting that question into your awareness, might come to you later. Notice what comes up. And what would be the opposite of that thought or that way of thinking or belief? And whatever you come up with, maybe say it to yourself. And noticing if you have any resistance to that too. But what would it feel like to embody this new way of thinking or the opposite way of thinking? What would it feel like in your body if you felt that way or thought that way? And then taking your time as you might either stay here or deepen your breath or bring back movement when you're ready. And I'll end our session there. I'm just going to make the sound of Om first, and you guys can move when you're ready. Om. All right. Thank you, everybody.